We got a fun one today, guys. We're going to go over some of the biggest lifts around. Now, we've all done the squat, deadlift, press, deep dive. This is a lift that everybody's aware of. Very few people train with regularity, but I think everybody has an immense amount of respect for it, and that is the Zercher lift. Specifically, we're going to talk about a Zercher squat, whether it's done from the floor or out of a rack. I don't really care. To be able to hold the barbell in the crooks of your elbows, take it to a below parallel position and come back up with a substantial amount of weight is a sign that you are a deadly human being and you are not to be trifled with. So here we got Megsquats doing a 185. A little disappointed in the pad. Not gonna lie. She toughed it out. That was a hard lift. Really good lifts don't just build you out. They also build your character. They make you a better person. So it's almost hard not to give the disappointed dad look when somebody is bypassing the chewed up skin on the arms for a little bit more comfort. It's like you would have gotten 20% more gains from that one rep if you just sucked it up. Not bad. That was a rep. That was a rep. All right, hats off to Zach. I don't know, I wonder if Mullet Zach is still hoisting these type of poundages right now. Too busy touring on his music career. So when I see these guys do it, I'm imagining the position I'm in just about every strongman event where I'm trying to wrangle something. You're in that squatted position, the weight's in front of you. Usually you're talking about something that's lighter and less dent, but it's further out, so the leverages are worse. So the experience can be very similar. Little bit of a different dynamic having to like wrangle it and squeeze it and crush it and pull it in. Upper back gets a lot out of that. I looked for Boogez' biggest Zercher. This is the one I found. I'm probably gonna get flames. Probably got some ungodly thing out there that is more intense, more deadly, more impressive that I missed. And if you got that, link it below. But for right now, we got Sticky Ricky, 495. Easy peasy. You know, horsecock is just, it's so accurate because the hips required. You need equestrian hips to be able to put out that much power. I'm gonna have to go on a deep dive. I feel like he's loaded up more than this. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna see what else I can find. This video is of course brought to you by BaseStrengthAI. You might relate to being confused or frustrated from running complex programs. We created a personalized app that gives moment-by-moment instruction to your program based on your immediate performance. When you use BaseStrengthAI, you can be confident that you're having the most personalized training experience available beyond what even an online coach could do for you. And the result is the peace of mind in knowing that every set and rep you do is taking you one step closer to your goals. It's my programming, but it's your program. To get BaseStrengthAI, click the link below. Here we got Kevin Oak. You'll remember him from, 6-8 years ago. I think he was really active. And he was just a top ranked power lifter in his weight class, huge squat and deadlift. And here he is with a 605. Now, a 605 Zercher is nothing to scoff at, but you see the strain, you see the struggle. A guy whose squat is into the 800s by a pretty considerable margin. And this 605 Zercher, you know, the weight's down close to his hips, but the different positioning just makes it so much harder. It's night and day when people kind of mold themselves to this lift, the adaptations they get. It's more in the context of being able to generate that hip power while supporting the weight. And that's what makes it a more, dare I say, functional movement. Now we're up to Nick Best. Nick's always been one of the best front carriers in the sport. He has some other deficiencies that kept him from being a real juggernaut, but the things he was good at, he was great at. And to see that 635, see him drop down, pop up, this is one of Nick's pet moves, and he's gotten very good at it. So anything that involves having the weight in front and dropping the butt down and firing through, that's going to be right in his wheelhouse. And it just turns out that's a lot of strongman bullshit. Here's a guy I don't know a lot about. Here's a 725 Zercher. And this guy, he's strong as shit in everything he does. And he's not built out like a lot of the other strength guys. This guy's a unit. I think he got like fake weight allegations, but he's in so many different gyms, lifting on so many different plates. He must collect fake plates. This is a strong individual. That talent's out there, man. Now this gentleman's beating him by a solid 5 pounds. Now we got a 730, also a kinesiology professor. I wonder if he learned a lot about Zerchers in his kinesiology program. This guy's obviously very built for it. Thick around the midsection, shorter legs. He drops into the hole very easily. I feel like if I got up into like the mid 300s, this is my spirit animal. That's probably what I'd look like. But it's a good lift for him, but the speed with which he comes out, how compact it is, the way he moves it, this is insane. Because we're going to go the next level up. We're going to find the biggest Zercher that I'm aware of, and it doesn't look this easy. And now we got Tom Haviland. Here's a 750 Zercher. That's just insane. Now, the thing is, Tom's strong and he moves it, but you got the other guy who's only 20 pounds back. You pull a pair of 10s off. Does Tom move it this fast? It's hard not to be just a military land cruiser when you're able to hold that amount of weight in your arms, drop your butt down, and stand back up with it. Now, some of you might be wanting to know what you should do with this information. I'm putting a lot of emphasis on Zerchers, calling them a great exercise. They certainly are. I don't think they should outright replace your squat. Unless you squat heavy year round and you're due for a short designated break, this might be a good way to give it to you. There is a case for strongmen to use this in place of an actual squat because of the specificity. I don't like that entirely though, because so much of what you do in specific strongman training is holding things in this position, where a squat is a really good opportunity to focus on the leg and hip power specifically. I would bias towards a strongman doing a specific squat movement with the weight on their shoulders, use that specifically for force production in the knees and hips, and then use something like this as a secondary movement. As you get closer to certain contests, this can get focused on specifically for those periods of time where you phase out the heaviest barbell lifts to focus just on what you have coming up in the contest. It's a good way to retain that strength that you built in the squat and then improve upon it because it's going to be done a bit more specifically to the events that you have coming up. For the average person, I think it's super easy to alternate. If you squat once a week, you could have your main squat work, do this immediately after. If you run a blended approach where you do squat and deadlift movements 2 days a week, you could obviously have this on your second day as a squat variation to follow up deadlifts. That's very viable. Or you might do a higher frequency DUP style split where you have different exercise variations on different days, and then it's super easy to plug it in. You're going to want to take time to adapt to holding things in the crooks of your elbows if you're new to it. You adapt to it very quickly, but I don't recommend just doing a heavy ass max Zercher if it's your first time. Give yourself some time to run up to it, to figure out exactly where to position it, how to brace. Your pain tolerance will need to creep up a little bit as well. But you'll be surprised how quickly this starts to feel better and better until you're moving big weights in an aggressive fashion. Now, as far as reps, almost all of you are going to be new to this, which means a wide variety of reps are going to work. For something like this that's new, I really recommend doing sets across with a reasonably easy weight. That's the skill development part. You don't need a lot of weight because it's so foreign. Whatever you do is going to mess you up. A few sets of 4 to 6 reps, kind of easy on the last one. Take the brakes off, go for broke, clock those 10 or 15 reps and just add linearly until you can't anymore. And by the end of that, not only are you going to be Zerchering a lot more weight than before, but you're going to have a lot of skill in it. You're going to be more recovered from it. And you're going to be able to take those capacities and apply them to other things. So yeah, guys, hopefully this was some great motivation for you guys to go try something new, make yourself a little uncomfortable, recognize that the physical development is important, but also we're out here for like manhood validation, things that build character, things that are difficult and painful for the sake of it. Because if you can get comfortable squatting like this, you can get comfortable squatting like any which way. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. Until next time, this is Bromley. I'll see you.